Welcome to CenterPoint, where arts, spirituality, healthy lifestyles meet to create community. At the center of community are the special spaces. And I am in a very special space with a very special friend, Dave Hattem. Thank you for being here, Dave.
Hi, John. Great to be here. Thank you for doing this thing.
Gallerie 271 has become a go-to place in the summer schedule of everybody in the Berkshires. It's 4 years since you've begun?
Yep, 4 years.
And since that time, it's evolved to a best of and 24 best of.
Right. Berkshire Eagle likes us, the local press likes what we're doing here, but more importantly, the local community likes what we're doing here.
Okay, well, this is always the best of. Tell us about the evolution of Gallerie 271 here in Monterey, and what vision do you have for this year?
Well, I mean, this whole thing started off as a bit of a lark. You know, I bought this garage, I renovated it, I had this beautiful little space here, and I thought, what can I do with it that would be fun? So I had my first exhibition a few years ago, kind of as an experiment to see if it would work, and if it would work for the community, it would work for me. And it did. So next up is a returning artist, Adi Oren, and she does just spectacular work. And you may recall I purchased a piece of her work years ago, and then when I started this gallery, I asked if she wanted to show, and I was very pleased. She said yes. So she'll be up. Wonderful work.
I have a piece of hers, by the way, one of the ones of diving off. I love the dynamic aspect of that.
Well, what she does is a beautiful combination of abstract work and figurative work. So very often it's one or the other, but she just marries it together. And you know, I love her use of color, and it's also very uplifting and positive.
It's a nice size to it. Sometimes I like small pieces and I like large pieces, but she does have. I haven't seen what she's bringing here, so I don't want to have too much of a preview. But she does have different sizes.
She does, and that's important for kind of the consumer too, because sometimes people really have a spot for a full piece. Sometimes they're looking for a larger piece, or sometimes it's a price issue. You know, I love her work, but
you do a great job in the gallery with that, because whoever the artist is, I've often seen pieces not only from a price point, but just that one piece that completes your home. You don't have to necessarily have the larger piece unless you have a space for it, but you can actually have the opportunity to get smaller.
And that's what it's all about. You know, if you really like the work and you have the room, but you want to have it in your home and you need to make it work. And look, a lot of houses have a lot of stuff in it.
Well, one thing that's great about your gallery is you really draw upon artists that have very strong international showings. National all over the place, but even international. So you have a chance to get them right here in sunny downtown Monterey. And so Adi, whether New York or wherever she's traveling, you get to have it right here.
Paris, she's been all over.
Yeah, that's great. What are some of the other shows that you have?
So next up is a photographer. And again, it's all part of the kind of the mix to have a little bit of everything or a different experience. And photography is, I personally love photography.
Well, you're a photographer yourself.
I am a photographer. I always enjoy the medium. I always enjoy the toys of different cameras. And I enjoy both sort of documenting and just beautiful things.
I remember almost wanting to buy when I first came here in the garage porch and said, wow, I love that. I think I could buy that. No, that's part of your own personal.
That's my personal stock.
It's your personal stock. Okay.
Exactly. So anyway, he's a photographer. He does black and white. He does color, and just really great work.
And when is his show?
He is coming up, I think, in August.
So
D is from, I believe, January 18th
July
18th. So she's kind of the second part of July. He's the beginning of August. That's Michael Groman.
Michael Groman, okay.
And
how do you close it out with such a wonderful...
Actually, another combination play, a fellow named Stephen Dieterman. Steve's a local guy. He's also showed here several years ago. Interesting fellow who is an architect by training and profession. And he does watercolors, he does paintings, he does sculptures.
Yeah, it's like 3D and 2D. I saw just the hint of what he's going to do. So.
Yeah, it's great stuff. And he's also has a very Berkshire perspective. He's one of these guys who wanders around, he walks, he goes into the field. So not everything has a Berkshire component,
right? But
his does.
Oh, that's great. That's a great way to close out the season.
Yes.
Yeah, and so as you're not improving, as evolving in your gallerist hat, what do you start to look at when you start to say, well, this season, I'm not going to go bigger and better? How do you curate?
Well, curate. Well, again, it does begin with what I personally like. Maybe that's selfish, but that's my perspective in the world. I'm here. I want to live with the stuff, and I want to be able to show it with pride and honesty when I tell people this is really good work. So it begins over there. I do like variety. And again, Bill was special. This was kind of an upgrade for me and for the gallery. It was kind of an ambitious undertaking, both because of his renown. You know, it's a little intimidating, wanting to show work for a guy who's been in major museums throughout the world and, you know, would go to Japan every year and teach. And, you know, could I speak in a language that he would value in terms of discussing art? So it was a little bit of intimidating. And then there was the logistics of just, you know, moving the stuff over here and showing it. So that was a big effort.
Can I add something? On the outside, if I understand correctly, even as we speak, Bill and an associate is looking at the logistics of having a kind of a permanent piece of Bill's work outside. Is that true?
Yeah. Well, you know, again, Bill's an interesting character because he does smaller pieces and really monumental pieces, and you know, monumental pieces that you need a crane to move, and that's what we're trying to work on now is get the guys with the crane to bring the work over here and put it out in the front. And that piece is actually one of the ones you showed. We're showing Bill before. It's a combination of glass and granite, so it's really quite special. So
that's going to be here as you're driving from Otis into the Berkshires into Great Barrington. You're going to actually see this all the time.
We're going to see it. And one of the nice things is the sun, kind of the midday sun, sits out there on the street on a regular basis. So the way we're going to position that piece with the glass on top, the sun should be hitting it like half the day. And that, you know, as Bill talks about the kinetic energy of his work, with the light streaming into the glass and reflecting off the granite, I think it's going to be really, really special.
Well, when that does come to pass,
we're saying prayers that'll get here.
I'd love to be present when that happens, and perhaps even with some of the film crew to really see it. It's too important an event to not memorialize in some way with photographs, of course, but I think the visual thing, I love to see the cranes moving and the thing being put into place. I think it's a wonderful aspect of that, and it gives it a deeper meaning.
Yep. No, I'm hoping to be here and see it. I mean, again, I keep going like this because it's a big job, but I'm pretty confident it's going to work out.
Well, you have visionaries in life, and people can vision many things, but it's rare to have somebody be able to actualize it. You really actualize it, and now it's one of the important hubs of the scene here. And so, thank you so much for all that you do, all that you're doing continually, and we look forward to do it. And as on the screen, people can have all your contact information here at Gallerie 271. It's a friendly place. Whether it's the opening or in the interim times off of the opening, it's always fun to come in here, have a glass of water or whatever it might be, and talk and really enjoy everything that you do. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And can I just shoot a thank you back to you?
Oh, of course, thank you.
Why not? But no, you're a terrific guy. We met in the gallery. We became friends, which I really appreciate. And look, I think what you do here is super, you know, and I think CenterPoint is super, and bringing the community together. And, you know, look, you had a vision too. I admire it, you know. You had a vision and you executed on it, and that ain't easy. No, it is not. And through the internet and social media, it's helpful. But my focus is on education, is to have the opportunity not to see art, but to have or musicians, but to actually have people come and talk about it, have artist talks, and to interrelate with all the other wonderful centers. Thank you so much, Dave, and thanks for our friendship, most importantly. Thank you. Until next time, have some fun with the art. Talk to artists. Engage with them. There's so much more behind the surface, behind what you see. Talk to the gallerists. Talk to the owners and why they have that piece there. It's all in education. Until next time, this is John Kyrsko saying goodbye.